Yeah, g'day YouTubers, Tinker O'Toole again here with a third video on Hexa. Somebody asked me the question, why is it that I don't dress the wheel 60 degrees per side like they do on the Stihl USG grinder? That's the way Stihl bring out their wheel. And that's a very good question, and I've done that before, and I'll give you the answer to that in a minute. I will say that there are various different angles to achieve a Hexa grind, and the first one that I'll give you is that you can have 5 degrees on the vertical, and you can have 25 degrees on the horizontal, and you'd need to tilt the head at 60 degrees. Or you could have 10 degrees on the vertical, 20 degrees on the horizontal, and you need 55 degrees tilt on the head. Or you can have 15 degrees, like I always do, on the vertical, and 15 degrees on the horizontal, and you'd have 50-degree angle on the head. Or you could have 20-degree angle on the vertical, 10-degree angle on the horizontal, and you'd want 45 degrees on the back of the head, but that's reached its limitation because you can't tilt the head any more than 45 degrees. So the head moves from 90 to 45. So, and you could have anything in between. So you've got a fairly large variation, and I wrote it down there, that's what it is there. And that brings us back to dressing the wheel to have 120 degrees like the Stihl. So that would be 60 degrees. What you would be sort of aiming for in that situation would be dressing the wheel 60 degrees this side and 60 degrees that side. Now, the problem that you get with the cheaper type pink aluminium oxide wheels, that if you come to a fairly sharp V point, you'll find out that V, where the point is, the wheel, it'll start to get chips in it everywhere. It actually does work quite well when you do the side, as I was talking before about having, like the 15 degrees on the horizontal and the 15 degrees on the vertical. That actually works quite well. But when you get a sharp V, like I've just did in the drawing, when you get a sharp V like that, be very, very careful that you don't get a sharp point on the V, because if you do, you'll find out that this will all chip. So you don't use this part. This part sits in the gullet. This part here and the side of the wheel, so the side of the wheel and this part here is the part that creates the Hexa grind. If you are going to make a 120 degree V, 60 degree aside, try and make sure that the bottom is just slightly rounded. So when you're dressing your stone, do it fairly roughly, and when you start to get to the finish point, just try and round it off slightly, very, very slight curve on it, and you'll find out that that will work a lot better. I'm still using this wheel here for my Hexa. When this wheel wears out, then I'll go back to using the wheel. It's a bit like the same as the Stihl USG. Comes to the 120, the V shape. I'll go back to the V shape. So that's what I'll do when the wheel wears out. But for now, I'm not going to make another wheel. Just make sure that if you do decide to do the V shape, the 120 degree V, try and make sure that you've got a good wheel, like an Oregon wheel or a Taconic or something like that, or a Kinnick. Just avoid the really El Cheapo pink wheels that are not sintered very well compared to the higher grade quality ones. You only get what you pay for, and if you buy the cheap ones, and as I said, you find out and you do a sharp V, you'll find out at the bottom of the V, you'll start to get chips everywhere, and that's not a good idea, and you won't get a very good grind, especially down the bottom of the gullet, because that's where that bottom of the V sits. It sits right down the bottom of the gullet, because remember, you're using the side of the wheel. The side of the wheel is your top plate cutting angle. So the side of the wheel is the part that grinds on the hexa going in, and it's the bottom of the wheel that creates the other 60 degrees going down on the tooth. So I hope that information helps. It's fairly straightforward. If you're going to do the 60 degrees aside, just remember, pay attention to the quality of the wheel that you've got, because you do need a slightly higher quality wheel. Doing it on the side of the wheel really does work well. That's why a lot of people do it that way. You don't have any crumbling edges. The edges hold up a little bit better. So I guess that's the main reason why I and myself and many others use the side technique, because the wheel seems to handle up to the abuse a lot better than the V shape. But as I said, if you buy yourself a high quality wheel, now the Stihl wheel is a different composition than the standard Stihl wheel. So when you buy the Stihl Hexa, you'll find out that it's a different color, it's slightly different composition, so it's made slightly different. It's much higher quality, and it's about 25% dearer than a standard wheel as well. So yeah, just bear that in mind. Look, thanks for watching. Any comments are welcome. Bye for now.